Yeah, what? You're watching and you're listening to the Week in Review, dopest in news and dropping the jewels. Sit back, relax, and press play on the tube and catch up in the feud, cause this brother is smooth. Your weekly wrap up on celebs and stars, or chicks in World Star and they panties and bras. From the Wadden Bazaar to a Cuban cigar, geeks at Comic Cons to the tech in your car, we got it all. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Killer content and the beats he provide. VALA, dope by design.
Woo! Welcome to What Had Happened Was.
What happened?
I am your boy NERDSoul.
I'm KAIZER.
Yo, man. We got a good show. So, without further ado, Watchmen happened and surprised a lot of people, black and white.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really expected how it started off. Matter of fact, just the entire episode, like, I enjoyed it. It's definitely, I guess, different from like the comic and the movies, but then again, not really.
Yeah, it's they're given a good time to play with it because this is essentially 40-ish years after the end of the comic book.
Yeah.
So, it's a good way to kind of look at a alternate society again and also not be extremely tied to the characters from the comic book.
Right.
And I really love the fact that they use Tulsa, Oklahoma like this. One, we never see something filmed in Tulsa or even said that it's filmed in Tulsa. And then the way they depicted the massacre and how it went down was something that I think, especially the way they did it wasn't done in a way where it was kind of corny or cheesy.
Right.
But it's something that, reminded people like, hey, this happened. Mm-hmm. Like, because there's a lot of times when, you'll hear this rhetoric of like, the welfare queen, or people can't do for themselves, or they're always broke or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You can hear NERDSoul Light, he backing me up. But the truth is, black people, especially at that time, there were numerous communities of all black people that were doing just fine.
Well, not even doing just fine.
They were extremely well.
Yeah. They were prospering.
And were attacked for doing so.
Yeah, it was crazy is to see this in like a mainstream show based off a comic book.
Yeah.
Because you don't hear a lot of this particular history like without looking for it or going to like a historical black college or something like that. Yeah.
Kind of like
this is stuff if you bring it up in like
when they did the movie Rosewood.
Yeah, if you bring this stuff up in like regular conversations, people are like, "Oh, that happened." Like if if they don't know. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. And also to take it a step further, that this was not only random people, but the government was involved. Like they were flying planes and dropping bombs. Like this wasn't
firebomb.
This wasn't just like a couple of white folks got together and was like, we don't like these people in this neighborhood, so we're just gonna beat some folks up. No, this was full scale attack, full scale assault, full scale murder, massacre on people that had genocide. Went and done what many people say they want done, which is go get your own stuff, make your own stuff, do your own stuff.
Yeah, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, all that rhetoric.
And Tulsa, the sad thing is that Tulsa wasn't the only community that this happened in, but seeing this done the way it was, and seeing how visceral it was, just shows like Damon Lindelof is probably not playing with this show. Like they're probably going to make a lot of statements in this show.
Yeah, he set the tone.
Yeah. Because Watchmen as a show is dope, and then you have a situation where you're under sort of a, I guess you could say a progressive or a left-leaning government, and for all intents and purposes, I guess you could say the bad stuff keeps happening. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like, you have a left-leaning government, it's progressive or whatever. It's, you have, whatever justices and judges and police and everything. And, you have to call to get your gun released and all this stuff. And still, white supremacy is still pervasive, inside of the culture of just, of whiteness in general, which is crazy because it's like, yo, you think, and I like that about the show where it's like, you think if it was just all left, it would be all good. It's like, no, it's still,
well,
be crazy.
Just the way, you can't equate how the government is run with like certain hate groups or the culture of hate that's passed down in like particular families or like small knit communities or groups or whatever. You can't get away from that simply because like the government is run a particular way.
Yeah. But as far as like the show, it's dope to see Crockett getting love. Well, Crockett dead now, but it was good to see Crockett do his thing for the first episode.
Yes. Spoilery if you haven't seen it, but
but Crockett,
I didn't.
Crockett gone.
I ain't expect for them to just like kill Don Johnson off like that.
Yeah. Regina King, I love her. That girl stayed working.
Yeah.
Like that girl stayed, and she stayed doing dope stuff. Like you never see her in something corny or anything like that.
Or if you see her in something that you don't particularly like, she's like doing her thing in it.
Yeah. And
like she killed it, but it's like I'm not really feeling the show.
Yeah, it's like,
but Watchmen feeling the show. Regina King is killing at her role. Obviously, Don Johnson was killing his role, but not anymore.
Shouts to Black Manta. Dope to see him in the spot.
Yeah, Black Manta in there.
Yeah, no suit. You know what I'm saying?
All husband.
And there's a lot of cool things that he dropped in this show. Like you get random stuff like, why they got 2 white kids, or a white kid and a I don't know, Greek or Latino kid.
I don't know if they mixed.
Dude.
Yeah, or I guess they adopted.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll touch on it like.
But
later
the dope
in the
thing
show,
is like how much they world built inside of an hour. You know what I'm saying? We get the squid rain and stuff. We got like a little glimpse.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like
of
the
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, he on is he on Mars?
Probably still, maybe somewhere else now. But just like the fact that
doing his random experiments.
The fact that he's still around. Ozzy is still around. At least we think. Jeremy Irons' character, I don't think they explicitly said he is Ozymandias, but I assume so.
He is. They spilled those beans like way before the show like premiered. He is Ozymandias. Living in his castle with his weird servants who want him to cut a cake with a horseshoe.
Butt naked, and Shorty was just massaging his thigh. I'm just saying.
Like massaging his thigh. Your thighs are kind of rough. He's like, I was riding a horse.
Real, I ain't paying for thighs. That's all I'm saying. No,
I forgot Ozymandias.
I was just playing. I don't need that. I don't need that out there. Like, NERDSoul, me too. I don't pay for thighs. Like, but also a big shout out to the fight scenes because you see that Regina got her cut on, but you saw her struggle with guys that were bigger than her. A problem that I have, and they do this with small guys too. Whenever there's a small guy or a woman, it'll be like, oh, they just took down like Mike Tyson in his prime, and it's like, whoa, that wasn't even hard for them. Like, come on, man. Like, you gotta make them struggle some. And you know what I'm saying? It's like she still came through, but she had some struggles. And shout outs to all the beef ribs that won't be able to be consumed because
yo, they shot crap literally out them cows, man. Like, I was like, yo, they gonna hit the cattle. And they was like, I don't care.
Yo, whenever somebody is shooting at you with a gun that has to be bolted to something, just get down. Because when he reloaded, I was like, yo, he got more.
I bought some cows.
I was like, yo.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't see them pull the whole crate.
See, I
out.
didn't see that part, but I saw him fill
they
the
was
first
ready.
time. Started shooting. Then I was like, hold up, he got more. I was like, dang, yo, they is not playing.
Yeah, nah. They was expecting for them cops to show up.
But yeah, is.
But nah, that scene was crazy. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I don't really have anything negative about it. I'm really trying to think. Yeah, I don't have anything negative.
Yeah, we have, Robert Redford as the president. We got that kid that was in class. I assume like it was some kind of I guess reparations are probably reparations or whatever.
Yeah, it's reparations for
Yeah,
but it was for, I guess, like the Oklahoma, or descendants of the Tulsa massacre.
And it's like he was saying it like he had an attitude with it. It's like, don't be mad at me.
It's like,
you need to be mad at your government. You need to be mad at your government that did this. Like, because
it's like, if this never happened, like if that massacre never happened, like I wouldn't need reparations because like I would still be fine in my community.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, let's not forget that first the whole 40 acres and a mule. Then on top of that, there were towns that were fine on their own. They were thriving. They had money. They were building and they were all by themselves, not bothering nobody.
Well, those were the towns that were targeted. They weren't targeting poor people.
Yeah, so it's like, no, this is something that the government has sanctioned. That the government has, the fires that the government has stoked. This is between me and my government. It ain't got nothing to do with you. So why you got an attitude? What, you feel you have a stake in it? It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Did you get it?
It's one of those things where it's like, kid, and even like her son was like, he's racist. And she was like, no, he's not racist. And I mean, I kind of see her side where she's like, this kid's just saying whatever his dad says. He doesn't even really know. But my retort to that is, regardless of what he knows he's doing or not, he's still doing it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make it any different. Like, he doesn't know what he's saying, so it's still racist.
Still being mad.
It's like that doesn't change the fact that it's racist.
Yep.
And he might not know what it means, but he knows that it's something that's negative because of the way he's saying it.
Yeah, he was angry about it, like somebody took something from him.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm sure that this, he probably learned from his mom or dad. That's probably how they talk about it.
Yep.
So, so that's how he speaks about it. But the show in general, straight flit ains.
Yeah, it's off to a super great start. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so
if you haven't seen
this is a show that just continues to be dope.
If you're listening and you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's not a waste of time.
It's on point. And shouts to Lou Gossett Jr. in the spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lou Gossett.
I ain't really even recognize him.
Lou Gossett was like, let me holler.
Lou Gossett got the hot guys.
Lou Gossett like, hey girl. He's like, you think I can lift 200 pounds, girl? It would have been funny if she was like, I ain't 200 pounds. She's like, girl, I ain't talking about you. No, I was just playing. But but nah, that was a cool line, because then at the end you were like, I get it. He was letting her know way back then, I know who you are, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, he was letting her know way back then. Because when she went in that bakery, I was like, you have no plans to open this place. I was like, you have no plans to open this bakery.
So, that bakery been under construction for the longest time.
Yeah. Like cobwebs and stuff inside. But shouts out to the all-black Monte Carlo, though. Shouts out to Training Day. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Big shouts to that. You know what I'm saying? Much love. You ever get wet?
I wonder if Night Owl's like aircraft was like donated, or like how did they get that? Did they just impound that joint?
I guess maybe donate it. Maybe.
I'm out of the business. Who wants it?
He's like, you know what? I'll give it to the police.
Tulsa,
They
Oklahoma
doing
police
anything.
force.
Yeah, and then also the world
Yeah, 'cause
building that
Night
they did
Owl-
with the police.
In Watchmen,
go
they
ahead.
were in New York, right?
Yeah.
So how did his ship get all the way to Tulsa?
I mean, maybe he just flew it there, man. I mean, we're in the same country, so it's all good.
Well, I don't mean like how did it physically get there. I mean like the story of how did they get it to use it for their police.
That's probably some more world building that we'll get to uncover later.
Oh, they better.
Because they've already said that they're speculating that Silk Spectre is that FBI chick that they met. So they're doing speculation like that. But I mean, just the world building in general has been
cool,
top notch on this show.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to like kind of like see like how what was the name of the team? The what do they call themselves?
What the 7 what the 7K or whatever?
No. Not the Rorschach people, but like the original heroes.
Oh,
What do they call themselves? Like the Hour something.
Watchmen.
I don't think they call themselves the Watchmen.
Whatever they call themselves. It was just,
I thought it was.
I don't know, the heroes or something. I don't know. It was like comedian and friends.
I want to see like how comedian and friends. Like I want to see like how they've grown, or if they're grown, or if they're referenced, or if they show up like later on, and how they grew, and like you know what I'm saying, like where they're at now, and how the world has grown and how they've grown in it.
Yeah, because we're seeing just a peek at where the world is now. You can see that even though Crazy Nixon is out, stuff still is not good. They said they had 3 years of peace, but I'm assuming before that 3 years of peace, it was not all good.
Yeah.
But, you know, dope show. You should definitely check it out. You know, it's the first season, and hopefully it does not get canceled. Unlike the show I'm about to bring up right now.
Well, now it's HBO. I think HBO will hold it down. They'll hold it down.
Unlike the show that I'm about to talk about now, Cloak and Dagger fans, they found out yesterday, like myself, that Cloak and Dagger is done. There's not going to be a season 3. It's all over. Well, it's sort of all over. They did film the crossover episode that's going to be on the Runaway season 3. So we did get that. But Cloak and Dagger's gone. And, you know, with all the, you know, the big movings, you know, with Marvel going on as of late, I guess we had to get some more casualties. But I really, really enjoyed Cloak and Dagger. It was good to have a show that was... It had its own little flavor to it. And it was kind of dope seeing where they were going, and being in New Orleans kind of closed off from everyone else. And like, you know, like having the villain they had this year with who I call the Jazz Man. It was well put together. And
I never seen the show, but when you reference a villain that you call the Jazz Man, I just feel like it's some dude with incredible sonic powers that forces people to listen to like his bad renditions of jazz.
Well, no,
like so he just rocks around with like the what's the straight saxophone? I don't know if it's not alto sax, but it's the joint that Kenny G plays. And he just like walks around in a nice suit. He goes, "Want to hear me play some jazz?" And people are like, "No," and then they get frozen. And then he starts playing jazz, and they're like, "Oh, it's so soothing, stop it!" And they just like start like getting lazy eyed and go to sleep.
Well, he can control like people and their emotions and stuff, and you know what I'm saying, like
with jazz.
Like it's weird how he does it, but he's able to connect through the usage of music in his own like kind of like mental scape by playing records that correspond with moments in your life. And he was also a jazz musician, and he's trying to hit the blue note, and like, you know, the ability to be able to do it will kind of like cross him over into being a god. It's like crazy, but it was just well played. He was a dope villain. And, you know, the show itself did a lot of great character work with Tyrone and Tandy. And it's just a show that I'm like, dag, I'm kind of mad it's gone. But, I mean, with so many movings, we knew it had to be gone. So, at least we'll get to see him one more time in Runaway Season 3. But, unfortunately, all we'll have is the, I guess, 20 episodes of the first 2 seasons or whatever, or the only 2 seasons, I guess.
That's all you get.
But with that said, speaking of the movings and the goings on, Kevin Feige is in control of everything. All that.
Kevin Feige is now the Marvel god.
Yep, Marvel movies.
Everything Marvel
TV
goes through Kevin Feige, and it's a good thing.
Oh yeah, it's definitely good.
Hopefully he don't get like too power hungry and he just start doing mad wild stuff. But I think it's a good move. I think it was like the obvious move. Fans love Kevin Feige. Directors the directors who've worked with Kevin Feige love Kevin Feige. All the like actors love Kevin Feige and his like, they enjoy like his passion for these stories that, you know, he's bringing to life and everything. The fans appreciate it. People who like were never in a comic book movies before, who probably never thought they'd be in the comic book movies before, I'm sure they're appreciative of Kevin Feige, even though they may not even know who he is. You know what I'm saying? That's good news.
Yeah. Ike is out the way. Jeff Loeb seems to be out the way now.
Jeff Loeb gone.
So it's all open and fair game, which means that they're going to start merging things into, you know, the main universe, which is why I honestly think gives more reason for Cloak and Dagger to stay around, because you'd want to build, you know, it's like, yo, we got Runaways, you know what I'm saying? We got Cloak and Dagger. Those 2 shows could be the 2 shows that be like, all right, we got like our young adult audience popping, you know what I'm saying? And they're well done. And also, like, you know, they cover a decent range of issues. But with that said, you got, man, so much to look forward to with, you know, even though Ghost Rider got canceled, but you do still have stuff like, you know, Captain America Winter Soldier. You got WandaVision.
Well, at least Ghost Rider was done really well. And since that guy is already in like Terminator, it's not like you couldn't put him in a movie role. Like, he's already in a big budget.
And see, that's
movie.
another thing.
So if because I know how Hollywood works, and you want to look for somebody who can carry a role on the big screen, not just the small screen. And I feel like Kevin Feige he wants to build like teams of people who could easily transition to do, let's say if they wanted to do like a 12 episode story arc for Disney Plus that leads into a movie and like a franchise movie or whatever. Like, he probably do some wild stuff like that, or vice versa, or a little bit of both.
True. Because like the Ghost Rider that we were about to get, with like season 4 is undoubtedly the hottest season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And it's because of was it Diego Luna?
Or no,
is it Gabriel?
Is it Diego Luna? No,
can't remember.
Gabriel.
Please excuse me, guys.
No, because Diego Luna's.
I think it's Gabriel, but I can't remember.
It is.
Please excuse me, guys. It's not on purpose. And actually, big shout out to Felipe Smith, who co-created the character. Because I had him on the show recently from LA Comic Con. Yeah, like the whole, Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider is just it's amazing. It really is. It's amazing. And I hope this isn't the last time we see him. Hopefully it's something where they're restructuring now so they can put a plan together. Maybe Cloak and Dagger comes back again, but they had to cancel it from Freeform, even though I don't understand it's a Disney property, but cancel it from Freeform to take it to Hulu or to take it to Disney Plus or wherever they were going to take it to, because the show was flames.
Isn't he over overall comics as well? Like he's over Marvel, like everything. Right?
Not comic books, just just TV, film, and home entertainment. So like the straight to DVD.
I was about to say, because if he over comic books too, it's kind of like, I think Kevin Feige might have a master plan. I mean, I'm sure he has a master plan now, but if he was over comic books, I was like, yo, and they just acquired Fox, I'm like, get ready for that House of X stuff to just randomly show up on screen.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, House of X was flames, and there's just so many possibilities with Hulu, with Disney Plus, with even stuff like Freeform, because Freeform only has like 2 other shows for real. Like you got Grownish, which is it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they be tripping with the colorism stuff, but I'll be like, whatever. And then they have, can't remember the show where the girl is like an intern or was an intern. Can't think of the name. But then they had Cloak and Dagger. They only had like 3 shows that was like really getting putting out fires. And now you taking one away, and I'm just like, but like you say, it might be a situation where we structuring something to build it, to put it on this or put it on that or tie it in with whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not super mad about it.
I think Kevin Feige is going to bring a decent amount of fluidity to where if you're watching a show and you haven't seen like the movie yet or vice versa, like it's all the same universe, or if you're trying to watch the new season of whatever and you haven't seen the movie from last year, whatever movie it is, it's like you might want to watch that movie before you watch the new show, because new show starts after that. And I think he's really trying to create comic books on film.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, if you miss issue 5 of the House of X, like, storyline, and I'm just using an example. I'm not actually going in order, but and then you go and you try to go to like
issue 6
issue 6 without reading. Yeah, if you try to read issue 6 without reading, I don't know, Wolverine 3, even though Wolverine 3 happens after like, issue 5 or whatever, then you like miss some stuff because now you're jumping straight to like that issue.
Yeah. And like you won't be super lost, but there might be a conversation where you're like, huh?
It's like, remember that time back in Alaska? And I was like, what happened in Alaska? They just gonna brush over that? It's like, no. It's like, no, it happened in Wolverine, but you didn't read that. You just jump straight to 6. And I think he's trying to create a lot of that, like, world building, crossover, like, seamlessness into the shows and the movies. And I think it's going to be dope.
Yeah, I can't wait for that, because before we get into our next topic, I'll say this. What has been created under the Marvel brand at DC with Marvel is unprecedented and a Herculean task. So let's get into that Marvel hate.
Yeah. Like, what's the trend, man? Like, the trend is like, have you made any movies in the last, 5 years? It's like, probably not. You can't wait to hate on something?
Yeah, it's like, essentially what boils down to this.
That's how I see it.
What boils down to this is a whole bunch of people not getting money, hating on people that's getting money. But it's also some gatekeeper,
not even that. I think they're hating
snobbishness too.
I don't even know if it's film snobbishness, right? Because, like, let's say we had the same films, but it wasn't as popular as it is, which it doesn't have any reason not to be. But let's say it is. Like, would they still be, like, really hating on it? No, because it wouldn't be, like, it's not as big to hate. But now that like the mass audience like loves these films, and like I've had people who would never be like a comic book film fan, had them go back and like watch everything up until this point, and they were like, oh man, I love this character, I love this character, not too much into this character, but I really love this film. And these are people who don't like sci-fi films and stuff like that, watching all these Marvel films, and now are like fans of it. And so I just see it as like hate, and then also see it as like jealousy too, because a lot of these directors, and I will name names, Spielberg, who I love, who makes great films, Scorsese makes good films, but he's like on the fence of like adding some stuff to his films. It's kind of like, yo, you just be trying to get away with certain things, like dropping N-bombs all through your films and then being like, look, it's art, gangster movie. I love Scorsese's films though, but that is a commonality. But anyway, like Spielberg has like gotten into a place of where he keeps making like these historical like war films that it's kind of like, well, war films are already kind of like, all right, not everybody's gonna go see this joint. And then like you keep bringing up like the same story, even though you might be telling it a different way, or filming it a different way, or shooting it a different way, or telling a different side of it. Like people get really tired of that. Like we know what happened. Like it's people want to go to the movies to escape. Like majority of the time, 90% of the time, people want to go to the movies to escape. So like they don't want to go sit in a theater to like watch some historical like film movie and be like, oh man, that did happen, and then walk out sad. Nah, I want to go see Avengers beat up some aliens and be like, oh man, that was awesome, and go back to work on Monday and talk about how awesome it is, and talk about that joint through the week, talk about how awesome it is, and like just escape from all the BS that you already got going on in your life. Like I don't want to add that to it, but like World War II, you know what happened? Like, all right.
There's a thing.
I think it's part of that. Like, how come my film didn't do great?
Yeah, it's the reason your film didn't do great is because one, that's not what's hot anymore. It used to be what's hot, and people were going to see your films. There's an ebb and flow. Right now, there's something different that's hot. There was a time when comic books weren't hot. Now,
well, I'm gonna be honest. Like, was it really hot because it was hot, or was it hot because like Spielberg shot it or Scorsese shot it?
I think another thing is,
like, if you take Spielberg out of what's the last war movie he did? Let me see.
Oh no, like when it comes to Scorsese and Spielberg never really said anything for real. Like Francis Ford Coppola is the one who came and super doubled down, talking about it's despicable.
He came out of super left field.
Like, he's the one who really came through.
Terrible. Oh.
And I was like, bruh, if you don't get your non-movie making in the last like 40 years having a like, son, here's what the deal is. People have gotten to a certain age where they don't like what's going on, so they want to be and position themselves as gatekeepers while they're preaching to the choir. And what I mean by that is by being at a film festival where you have all of your film snobs there that sit there and they're like, and let me pontificate on the next film. And I'm like, cool, if you want to do that, great. But don't come stomping around in my backyard. We don't mess with y'all. Y'all want to have y'all nice, ritzy film festivals? Go ahead. We don't even bother y'all. You will never see like anybody who loves like sci-fi
it's not like the Russo brothers came out,
loves horror films or anything, going to Cannes and being like, oh, I hate this biopic. Nobody even, we leave y'all alone. And then y'all want to come over after us. My thing would be Francis Ford Coppola and Martin Scorsese. Have you ever tried to make 23, 24, whatever, however many films all go together, intertwine stories, make sense, and call back to other films that's like 10 years old. Have you ever done that? You haven't?
Yeah.
Okay. Then maybe what you should do is sit down and take notes. Because one thing that I think a lot of these filmmakers
even do it
discount and discredit is the artistry and the difficulty in getting a car chase scene to work, or a fight scene to work, or pyrotechnics, or any of this stuff. See, people be like, oh, you just put explosions in there. No, you don't. It's hard to get this stuff to work. It's hard. Even Christopher Nolan, remember in Inception when they built that big old box that was the hallway? That's not easy. Choreographing that ain't easy.
Yeah.
But someone might sit back and be like, oh, that's just
people gotta figure that stuff out.
That's just people in a dumb box rolling around. It's like there is a difficulty.
Bro, that's practical
but
effects. That stuff is hard.
It's still an effect. It's still someone who would make some kind of drama film about somebody sitting in a room and crying because they got some bad news about their family or something. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh, well, why do you have to do all that? That's just a roller coaster. There's different types of films. Yeah. There's biopics. There's drama films. There's love stories. There's rom-coms.
Well,
there's sci-fi.
I don't understand where did the hate come from? And I'll give it back to you because you did defend Spielberg because he didn't really say much. And at least Spielberg has the variety and the range in his portfolio to even have more of a valuable opinion, because he's like one of my favorites, and I felt kind of like scarred when I heard him say, like, you know, have like, but he didn't really like come after Marvel like Scorsese did, and first for Coppola. Well,
yeah, because there's a lot of people that's not saying nothing because a lot of people still trying to see how this Marvel thing shakes out because they want to make money too.
But
and remember, dissing Marvel on the sneak tip is sort of dissing Disney, especially since now Bob Iger has said something.
Oh, what did Bob Iger say? I missed that. So
now it's like Bob Iger said something like it's two guys talking shit about movies. And I can't remember the exact quote, but it was something basically paraphrasing like, hey, look, they can have their own opinion, but it's two guys just talking crap about movies. And he just left it like that. And my thing is, movies are more than what the Oscar crowd wants them to be. And I know what I mean by the Oscar crowd means a movie that's either about World War II. Let's be for real. Let's be honest on how thin and how slim the mentality of the Oscar crowd is. It's not about World War II. It's not trying to make somebody cry, and it's not a biopic. Let's be for real. And I don't have a problem with that. But what I'm saying is, film is more than that. Film is animation. Film is horror. Film is action. Film is Marvel. Film is The Irishman that's getting ready to come out. All of this is film. It doesn't mean that The Irishman is less than because it doesn't have this budget or whatever. No, it's just different. It's just a different film, and ain't nobody hating on you. Ain't nobody even called your name. But you have a lot of people that's hating because their films don't get the kind of money and the response and the push that the bigger films get. But they fail to realize that the bigger films make the money that allow studios to fund the smaller films that don't make money. They don't realize that.
And on top of all that, what Marvel has done essentially is what Disney has done for its entirety. It's taken something that's been inside of like all of us as just human beings in general, period, and taken like your childhood and superheroes and then made it real enough for you to go see this actor pretend to do something for like 2 hours, and then they put all these effects like practical and VFX and everything in between to make it seem real in your eyes for like 2.5 hours to totally take you away from like your bills, home ownership, your job, wife, kids, everyday life stuff, to go sit down and just zone out and enjoy this story for like 2 hours. Or if you're a kid, to put like everything that you could imagine into something like that's more tangible on screen. Like it's for everybody, that touches everybody. Like The Irishman is not for everybody or going to be for everybody. So it's not going to do as well as Marvel movies because of that. If you want to make a film that does as well as Marvel movies, you should probably start taking some notes and do a Marvel movie. I don't know.
Well, here's another thing. People front and pretend like replay value is not a factor. Let's be for real. I can watch Coming to America right now. I can watch Bad Boys right now. I can watch Breakfast Club right now. But you know what I can't watch right now? Shawshank Redemption. It's a great movie. I don't need to see it ever again.
I can't watch The Departed
I can't
over
watch,
and over again.
I can't watch The Departed. I can't watch The Piano right now. I don't feel like that. I feel like watching that mess.
Nah, but if like, I don't know, Civil
you're
War
like, yo, man, why don't we turn on...
I'm like, oh, snap, this is that scene.
Yeah, why don't we turn on some fun film? Some stuff can be what I like to call perfect popcorn. Some movies can just be fun. Let someone have fun. And it's like, oh, well, art should make you think. Art should elicit a response. So
well, not even that.
Your response might be thinking, but my response might be cheering for a hero that just won something, or maybe the response is to cry for this sad movie. There's tons of different responses, not just the one that you want. You know what I'm saying? It's so, and then also there was a thing that went on Twitter because Bob Iger mentioned Ryan Coogler and Black Panther, and people were like, "Oh, so what you're saying is Ryan Coogler is as good as Martin Scorsese?" Yeah, actually, I'd say it's a safe bet to even argue that he might be better. Here's why: you got to remember. One thing about art, or one purpose of art, is to be culturally relevant. What movie in the last 20 to 30 years has been as culturally relevant as Black Panther? I'll wait.
Or Fruitvale Station.
I will wait. 4 generations of black people
right now.
Showing up to a movie. So remember, there's different things. Art isn't just, well, I want to make you think, or I want to make a point. Sometimes it's to make you cry. Sometimes it's to make you laugh. Sometimes it's to make you think about your family and thinking about the things that you want to turn away from or things that you have to give up, i.e. Toy Story 4. You know what I'm saying? You look at Toy Story 4 and you're like, dang, man, it's, you got that transition period when it's like, this movie, it's like, dang, this movie is more for parents than it is for kids. But you have different films that have different themes.
Disney be killing.
And tell different stories and elicit different responses. They don't always have to be, oh, well, look at how deep this movie is. Oh, and also, a lot of these films that be acting like they deep, they be about as deep as a kiddie pool. But...
yeah, I mean, honestly, like a lot of Scorsese films, if not all of them, they've almost got like the same formula, to be honest.
And I got love for Scorsese. But let's not front like he don't need an editor.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm also not saying it in like a hateful way, but because I also like Martin Scorsese films. But
here's the thing: when you call out someone's flaws, don't be mad if someone calls out yours. Your movies are unnecessarily long.
Yeah,
you make your movies long statement. Because you're self-important. You're more important than your movie. That's his problem. It's always been his problem. Nobody wants to call it out because he's Martin Scorsese, or nobody will say it to his face. That's why you'll never see Francis Ford Coppola or Martin Scorsese saying that type of stuff to an interviewer like me or someone who knows their stuff in the comic book genre. Because what we saw on Watchmen is just as good as any other drama that's out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what they want to do is they want to use, say, like Batman and Robin as the watermark for everything. No, there's good and bad movies in every genre.
Yeah, but see, Batman and Robin won't get in that heat.
So it just it's frustrating because once again, we have to go back through this film snob thing where it's like, dude, nobody's even bothering you. Nobody's even talking about your movies. You'll never see nobody in Marvel like, the Irishman is stupid. Nobody's even messing with
like,
you.
Where did you
Nobody
come
called
from?
your name. And here you come. It's like Francis Ford Coppola ain't made nothing hot in decades.
Where did he come
Scorsese,
from?
he
It's
makes
like-
hot stuff, but let's not front like everything is hot. And let's not front like his stuff does not need an edit. Wolf of Wall Street was cool. That joint could have been about 30, 40 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
But he's self-important.
That wasn't Scorsese.
Oh, my bad. I'll back up.
I don't think that wasn't Scorsese. Wolf of Wall Street?
I will back up. If
That
that's
was,
not Scorsese, I will back up. I thought it was him. So Scorsese, I'll let you slide on that one. Because I was trying to call his most recent joint that
I don't think it's Scorsese. Oh, it is Scorsese. Never mind. I'm wrong.
Oh, cool.
You're right.
Thank you. So,
Okay.
All right. Back on Scorsese. Now you was out in the hot water. Now you're back in. So now back to you, Scorsese. Let's not front like that joint went long for no reason. Was it funny? Did I have a good time watching it? Yes, I did. But it didn't have to.
But
be
that
3
was
hours.
probably like one of the few Scorsese
It was 3
films.
hours because you like making 3-hour movies just
Yeah.
to say that it's a 3-hour movie.
But see, that was one of the few Scorsese films that was like, oh, this is a Scorsese film? Oh, okay. Like,
yeah, and Nolan is a little self-important too, but he ain't saying nothing, so I ain't going dog with him. But he's self-important too. Where it's like, dude, Interstellar didn't need to be that long.
I don't think
Yeah.
Nolan would say anything because Nolan was on the cusp of
Yeah.
easily creating a universe. Like if they were like, we want you to take on executive producer credits for all DC films, like DC would have an ill roster right
The
now.
only thing is, I don't like how he cuts fighting scenes. But besides that, that's a whole different thing. But I don't like how he cuts fight scenes.
You said what?
It's like way too many cuts. I'm like, dude, let them fight and show the action.
He probably needs a better. I guess.
But if you're dealing with actors
fight
that
choreographer.
can't really sell it, you might have to cut it that much.
Cinematographer. Yeah.
Because Christian Bale, he's cutting everything, but maybe he looks whack when he's fighting. So you got to cut it mad times to make it look sweet.
Yeah. But see, we already know Tom Hardy can sell a fight, so it seems like it's leaning on the Christian Bale side.
But with that said, like it's unnecessary hate. And at first I thought it was going like die down. I'm like, all right, Scorsese said something that's cool. Then Francis Ford Coppola, I was like, hold up, Despicable? Really? Despicable? Really? And
that was a clear shot.
Coming from two people that have never made a movie like this, so they don't even know the difficulty in it. Let's also add, let's not act like living up to hype is not a difficulty. None of your films have had the hype of a Avengers, the hype of a Star Wars, the hype of a Star Trek. None of them.
Yeah, because they not only live up to hype, not only do they live up to the hype, they escalate it. Like they keep pushing the ball forward, and it's like, yo, you've already did it, and they're like, nah, we can take it further. And then they do it again. It's like, nah, we can take it further. It's like,
that's why this Black Widow joint about to be stupid, son. It's about like, man, this Black Widow thing probably about to be like so crazy.
Yeah.
Just, man, because it's like they don't do, even their wackest movies are still watchable. Like, all right, let's see, what would be like their wackest movie would be like maybe Thor: The Dark World.
Well, that's their current roster.
Yeah, everything since they started with Iron Man. Like their wackest movie might be,
I would say the first Thor.
Maybe first Thor, or maybe first or Thor: The Dark World. But still, inside that first Thor movie,
I could watch The Dark World over first Thor.
Yo, man, you got Anthony Hopkins coming with it as Odin, man. I can't front. When he snapped on him and said, "You're not king," that was real.
Yeah,
like, he said that with his chest.
I don't hate Anthony Hopkins in any movie.
Yeah, it's like he was like, Thor was like, if I was king, he was like, but you're not king. And the way he said that joint, it was like he rocked the rafters with it.
When Anthony Hopkins yell and enunciate, better sit down.
But yeah,
but you are not. It's like, oh, snap! Did he spit on me?
Told your ass. But
how did the spit travel all the way up there?
but with that said, there's just a Marvel hate. But the funny thing is, Marvel ain't even tripping. They're like, look, we about to drop this Disney Plus on y'all. It's about to be
they've
flames.
been very tactful in their responses. Like everybody, people who aren't even technically
because James Gunn
employed by Marvel anymore, like Robert Downey Jr. He was just like, they said it. And they were like, but he said it's not cinema. He was like, but it plays in films.
Yep. He was
like, so what do you think about it? He was like, I mean, I got to take into account, but I mean, that's his opinion.
He's like, that's how. And then Samuel Jackson was like, he got an opinion. Everybody don't like
Same
your
way.
movies. Oh well.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson. They basically said the same thing. Sam just said it faster. He summed it up. It's like, I ain't got time for this.
Everybody don't like your movies. Ain't nobody tripping on that.
Yeah, let's move on. Done. And I was like, cool. That sums it up.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just funny seeing how there's some jealousy definitely in this joint, and also remember,
some hateration.
We're not in a director's world anymore. We used to be in a world where everybody loved if you said Spielberg, people would just come out. That doesn't happen anymore. Now it's about the property.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I think people still come out for
I
Spielberg.
mean, they do, but
it's
not like it's not like the heyday though. It's not like the late 80s, early 90s anymore. Like, you could just say Scorsese and people would just come out.
Yeah, I mean, it's waning because he's been producing more. Even though Spielberg is still relevant, like his last film I think was Ready Player One, which was dope. But Spielberg, at least he's still relevant outside of him producing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like somebody say, I'm gonna see this Spielberg film, and people go, he's washed. Like, I don't think Spielberg would ever be that.
Spielberg's the only one that can actually say something who's actually produced and directed in all genres and done at least a decent job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I still got love for the first 2 seasons of Falling Skies. He was a producer on that. You know what I'm saying? Now, after, season 2 got kind of weird, but, you know what I'm saying? He's, even stuff he's produced, even like you said, Ready Player One, he had a film after that where it was I want to say it was like a political thriller.
The Post? That came out before Ready Player One.
Oh, it did? Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah. But, you know what I'm saying? He's still dropping stuff. You know what I'm saying? Scorsese is like, bro, come on. Let's be for real, son. Like, come on. But with that said, you know what I'm saying? We have cleared and burned sage on all them cats. We ain't worrying about that.
Nah, we passed it.
But I did want to give a shout out. I know you got some shout outs. One, shout out to Thought Crimes. You know what I'm saying? Friends of the show. Always got love. Shout out to Solar Gray doing his thing. Shout out to Felipe Smith. Shout him out before for co-creating Robbie Reyes, one of the dopest characters in Ghost Rider and just Marvel history in general. Like, dude is just awesome. The car, his attitude, him and his little brother's relationship, super dope. And also big shout out to Arcatron, homie, friend of the show, also co-host on Beast Vibes Life. He got an album coming soon, so that's gonna be fresh.
Ooh,
but that's all my shout outs.
I only got one shout out.
Yeah, and I've listened to a little bit of it. It's got some flames.
All right. 3 flame emojis?
4 flames.
Oh, I don't even know if I have that much space on my input. But I only got one shout out for all you NERDSoul gamer watchers out there. I got some of that what does it say? That woo-ha.
That woo-ha flavor.
The woo-ha flavor. Shroud just switched it up and went to Mixer because apparently Microsoft's got way too much money to spend on some gamer influencers. And I'm pretty sure they're going to make all that back with Shroud and Ninja on their platform.
Yeah, Microsoft's spending some dough.
Microsoft's out here for the gullet.
We'll see how this joint plays out over the next year or so. But they spending some dough. I will say this, Mixer ain't gonna get popping without some flavor in it though. I'm just letting them know straight up. Mixer, Unless you get some black people up on your joint, it ain't gonna pop, son.
Well, there's a dude. I'm gonna shout him out. Well, there is a dude that I followed that I watched for like 30 minutes yesterday. I want to say his name is like I Hollywood Life or something like that. But he's a brother.
Oh, all right.
And he was entertaining. He was playing Apex Legends. He was decent.
What up?
He was a decent player. But he won't know Shroud though. Shroud is like the Michael Jordan of like first person shooters. Dude just be like, I almost feel like he is Neo born in the Matrix. He just knows where people are on the map and just drop bodies.
Like, yo, see the body drop, son.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Well, yo, guys, that is it. Thank you for hanging with us. Before we bounce, Kaiser, tell them where they can find you online.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram or on www.kurobrand.com or Instagram/kurobrand.
Word up.
Buy some.
Yeah, get some of them tees, some of them tees, them hoodies, hats, some, you know what I'm saying, a pair of socks, I don't know. Anyway, big shout out to The Brand, which is NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Holla at me on TikTok. Don't forget iHeartRadio podcast. So if you don't like seeing my face on YouTube, listen to the podcast. If you don't like listening to me, watch the video on YouTube and put it on mute. But support your boy. Hit that thumbs up. If you hit that thumbs down, I'm sending Francis Ford Coppola to your house. And that's all I got to say. From us to you, thank you for listening and peace.
What up, C Breezy? Woo-ha!